We will get, all right. Okay, so I'm sure, you had some fun yesterday, right? I saw that you posted and we're getting some answers.
Not
So,
not expected answers too.
well, that is kind of the fun of it, isn't it? Like, because you're researching it and figuring it out and hearing what other people think too. And it, to me, that's always the fun part, like getting to know what's going on in other people's minds too. Okay,
True.
so today we're going to help them solve their problem, or at least start to figure out how we can help them solve their problem. Okay, let me move us. Okay, so now that you know what your ideal clients are struggling with, the next problem or the next thing we're going to do is figure out how we can help them solve the problem. It's not really up to you to solve each problem. It's your job to guide them and help them find the solution. So most of the time, that's information, ideas, guidance to decide to do something. Now, in some cases, this will be easy to do. In other cases, you may be helping them solve a series of problems. So our goal is to break it down into one bite-sized chunk that we can show them through our marketing that we have the answers, or that we are the answer to their problems. We want to solve one problem at a time, or it may confuse our clients. So in each of our messages, we want to, like, let's say it's just the issue of clutter and the personal effects and these sorts of things. Maybe talking to an auction person is the answer there. But basically, we want to break it down. We don't want to try and solve the entire problem all at once in one marketing message. We want to break it down so that each time we talk, they go, oh, like this was what I needed, and we want to be able to be, like I said, that light, kind of that way forward. So what can we do to show them what they need to know? What solutions do we have, or do you have? And what knowledge do you have that they need? This is where, asking those questions becomes really powerful, because you have then the words of the people who are maybe struggling with what you're trying to help them with. Like, you've already heard from some of them, and honestly, some of them who answered may very well be your next clients. They're kind of raising their hand and saying, like, hey, okay, these are the things that we struggled with, or these are the things that I see a struggle with, or whatever. And so these are the things that we know are like kind of top of mind. These are the things that they're going, okay, like, this is my biggest problem. But we know that the clutter, or the personal effects, or the whatever it is that they're telling us right now, this may not be their biggest problem. Actually handling the estate is probably going to be their biggest problem. Handling the sale of the house, handling some of those things. But their focus, as you can see, is on the immediate, the smaller parts of it, I guess. But that's where their heart is too, and so we want to show them basically that we understand this part of it and can guide them through the rest of it. Okay, so as we've kind of talked about this week, this is where we start to think, like, what is it we can do? What can we offer to show them that we have the answers? So can you create a guide, some sort of content, whether that's, a series of posts? Those posts could be stories. My friend dealt with, X, Y, and Z. Are you finding yourself in the same situation, or something like that? You could do videos. We can do things like creating PDFs, or like I have program here, but I'm thinking like, you could do kind of a series of just like little videos that are, step one, you're going to need to think about this. Step two, you're going to need to be thinking about this, and you might need these people in your world. But if you do like a little, I wouldn't call it a tutorial, but like something like a little just kind of guide where you can show them like, hey, I am the person who can help you with this. And especially if you do video and stuff like that, you're going to show people who you are, and they're going to identify with you, and they're going to, probably before they ever reach out to you, they're already going to feel connected to you, because you've given them that time and you've kind of taken that personal touch. And so they already are getting comfortable with you because they see you and they can hear you. So if you, and I keep telling you this, I'm not trying to push you, but if you're not scared, videos are a really, really powerful tool. So I would recommend thinking about doing something with video. Okay. Basically though, the bottom line is we want them to see you as the go-to source for the answer to this problem. And then basically, as we've kind of talked about this week, is this information already available to you through, your broker, a lender, a title company, an attorney, an accountant? They may have resources, they may have information already that can help guide your clients forward. Okay, so when thinking of how you will help them solve your problem, it's also important to understand that you don't have to recreate the wheel. There are already solutions out there to solve these problems, but we must show our ideal clients that we have the answers they're looking for, or that we could guide them through the scenario that they're struggling with. Oh, excuse me. You want your ideal clients to feel like you're inside of their mind. You want them to feel like you are the answer to their problem. And you want to talk about the problem in a way that they'll understand and relate to. And in order to do that, you need to connect with how they feel about the problem. And I think that yesterday you got a pretty good idea, a pretty good sample of how people feel about this. And when you can talk to those feelings as well, you're in a very powerful place, because you already know, like, okay, these people, they're feeling sentimental, they're dealing with these things, and so you can kind of approach it from that sensitive kind of place, not just like realtors do, right? Like, thinking of buying and selling your home, call me. No, you can say, hey, I understand, this is like a hard time, let me show you the way, and take their hand, as opposed to just, blanket statement, I can help you. You're going to definitely attract more people when you're showing them that you understand what they're going through. Okay. In order to connect with how they feel, let's talk about their pain points. Obviously, buyers and sellers have different pain points depending on their situation, but let's consider the pain points to be the things they're telling themselves or feeling about their situation. So some examples that I have: what may a potential buyer lead be saying about their situation? They may be saying things like, I can't afford to buy a home. My credit sucks. I don't have enough money for closing costs. I don't know where to start. I'm not ready. I'll save money by renting. There's no benefit for me to buy. There are no homes on the market. What may a potential buyer lead be feeling about their situation. They could be feeling depressed, hopeless, uncertain, frustrated, disappointed, stuck. So those are some things that we would, sorry, I don't know if you were, so basically, when we're having these, I'm sorry, were you still writing? Oh, okay. So basically a seller may be thinking, I can sell now, but I may not have a place to move. Should I sell first? What should I do first? How much can I sell for? How fast will it sell? How fast do I need to pack? Do I need to repair my house first? What repairs and upgrades should I perform? Obviously the list goes on and on, right? But all of these things, we need to think about it. What is the thing that a seller is telling themselves? What is the thing that they're like sitting there that is keeping them stuck in this place? And that may very well be, I think when my grandma passed, before she passed, I guess, when it was the hardest thing to go through her stuff, and for me, like, that's where the family divide started, you know what I mean? And because this person wanted that and this person wanted that. And so in this situation, it may be they're just sitting there so unsure of what to do first that they're stuck in doing nothing. And that's kind of what we want to hear and see and start talking about, how to move forward from this position. Okay, so sorry, I got sidetracked again, but what may a potential seller lead be feeling about their situation? Nervous, anxious, worried, fearful, apprehensive. Okay, so then we want to look at how do they want to feel and what do they want to think? Obviously, they want this to be easier. They want to have peace of mind. They want to think that they can do this. They want to feel as though this is their decision and they don't want to be talked into something. So honestly, the bottom line is you are the answer to their problems, but we have to get them to know that you're there. And we're going to do that by talking about all of these things. Okay, so really, when we go and we start talking about solving their problems, we, like I said yesterday, we want to be in their heads. We want to know what they're thinking and feeling about the situation. We want to kind of understand what it is that they would like to be feeling about the situation, or how, like, what would it look like on the other side? Is it like, this can be a breeze, and you know what, maybe you have a team of people and you bill it as, I have a team, I have this auction company that can come in and help, sell off the items of the estate. I have a professional organizer. I don't know, I'm making stuff up, but it, someone who can come in and kind of help go through things. All of those sorts of things. So it's like, okay, this can be easy and it doesn't have to be like life consuming, even though that's what it feels like it is. Okay, so tonight we're going to kind of really dive in and we're going to talk more about kind of how to reach these people and how to create posts, create ads, create really how we can create the information or the offer that is going to bring people to us. And so I call it a lead generation masterclass. We'll cover some of the stuff that we went through this week, but then we'll kind of dive in and get to the bottom of what we think, what we think we need to know, and how, oh my gosh, I need more coffee. Um, and basically though, we're going to work on creating the posts and stuff. And then tomorrow, I guess that'll be the homework, really is like coming up with the post that you want to use, maybe first, or, just kind of figuring out how to bring this all together so that we can get out there in front of people and start talking about it and start bringing it all together and attracting people, even if that is starting like yesterday. And honestly, I think you have a head start because of what you did yesterday. So those people that were reaching out to you and commenting, those are great sources of information. Maybe they've already gone through it all and the process is done. Maybe they're somewhere in the middle still and like, oh crap, I can't see my way out, and they may very well be your people.
Actually, one of those people is actually a client and a friend who is actually in the middle of it. So it's
Okay.
interesting.
And that's exactly, that's something that is, if you can take that person, I mean, kind of almost as a guinea pig, right? Like, okay, how can we get you through this as fast as possible, as like, not necessarily fast, but like with as little trauma as possible. I mean,
Yeah.
And kind of building a system, almost like okay, let's work together on this and let's get you through it, kind of a thing. Giving them those steps and showing them that, okay, we can make this easier is really what they're looking for, right? Like, we want to get through this. Okay, I'm the queen of avoidance. My counselor keeps telling me that I am avoiding everything, but sometimes that's kind of almost part of this, right? Like, some of these things, like, people tend to avoid the hard stuff, and this is the hard stuff. So, there are parts of this that people may be like, I don't really want to deal with this right now, and so having conversations is going to kind of open up the door to like, okay, actually I could help you with this, and it doesn't have to be hard. I mean, it's going to be hard, but it doesn't have to be, as hard as it could be. How are you feeling?
I think it's good. I'd say it's it's kind of overwhelming, like how many different ways this could probably go.
Right.
I'm also still kind of struggling with thinking about like a group, and if I did a group. So right now in the first time home buyers group, I don't allow any other agents in because I just feel like that's my group. But
Yep.
I don't know how like something with like this would necessarily go.
Well, one thing is I was just, sorry, you said about the group name, and it came to me though, like, what if it is support, like in the name somewhere, and you probably have already thought of this, but some sort of support group for, I don't have the words. Support is the one that came to me.
Yeah, no, it's actually support's really good. I like that.
Because I think that's exactly what we're doing, right? We're here to help support them and get them through this process. So maybe incorporating, that it's a support type of group, I mean, not that we don't want to go into counseling sessions, but
Well, goodness knows that that's part of our job anyway.
Right,
Just
that is true.
that way.
That is true. So anyway, I agree wholeheartedly about letting other agents in, that sort of thing. This is the way that I look at groups, is this is your like pond, right? Like the fish that you're putting in there, those are yours, and this is your world. So if you don't want other agents in there, that's completely fine, and you can put the questions at the beginning if that's one of your biggest concerns, which I don't think I would make it be one,
Not
but
with this, I don't think.
ask the questions at the beginning of the group, find out. Normally, like in a buyer's group, I'll ask questions like, where are you in the home buying process? Have you been pre-approved? What's your biggest struggle, like down payment, credit score, or something else, that sort of thing. And like in the buyer's group, you can get people, I mean, obviously, once they start answering, you can start having a conversation with them. Hey, I could help you with your credit. I could help you with, whatever. I can get you set up with a lender who will guide you, or whatever the situation is. Basically, with each of these groups, I would make sure that you're asking questions. If, once we get into like the estate group, again, kind of where are you in the process? Like what has been the biggest struggle, or what is the thing that you're stuck on right now? Or I don't really go into like, how can I help you? Because that like kind of is like, I feel almost like a red flag, right? Like, oh crap, they might be selling me. Like, so, but asking questions that kind of dig into these things, how are you thinking? How are you feeling? Like, where are you in this process? It kind of gives you all the information you need for within your group. So you can start addressing those things. If someone comes in and they're like, I don't know where to start, I don't know where to begin, like the house is 10 acres, or the property is 10 acres, and I have like buildings upon buildings to go through, and I don't know where to start, like that kind of gives you okay, like, how do I help this person? I can offer them, who knows, I could offer, to get them information for X, maybe someone who can come in and help clean this out, or whatever the case may be. But you'll kind of it's just an information gathering tool, really, that helps you formulate a plan as to how to help them.
Okay.
I forgot what I was going to say. Well, okay, that one's gone. So anyway, so tonight, well, at 3:00 my time, so 6:00 your time, we'll do the master class. And basically, I am so bad at this week with these computer things and everything else. Like I am not with it. I am like going, crap, I forgot to schedule that event on Facebook, so people
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but okay, so anyway, we'll kind of go through. It'll probably, depending on how much we talk, it'll probably be like maybe an hour or so, with time for questions and stuff like that. But definitely, keep playing with this, keep digging in, keep asking questions if you come up with some more questions, and really give yourself permission to be curious. The people who you were talking to yesterday, the people who were answering, feel free to ask them more questions. Feel free to, I mean, they've already opened up some, so they're, like I said, people love to talk about themselves and what they're going through, and so give yourself permission to be curious, because it's just going to help you proceed.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Anything else that you have right now?
No, I'm just, like I said, I'm just in the weird spot with trying to decide whether or not I can wrap up business with this brokerage before the end of the year, or if I just need to send in my for my broker's license, because Connecticut changes the rules as
Oh,
of January 1st.
okay, so what are you, I'm gonna stop recording. Let's keep talking if you don't. Hold on. Whoops. Okay, yes,
Okay.
stop share is right. Now where's recording? Okay,